Well, hey guys, I got the bike totally put back together. I'm going to roll it out here and then I'm going to try to start it. So I have everything all hooked up. Let's see if this carburetor cleaning I did doesn't amount to anything. Well, it sounds like chain might be a little tight. Torque converter doesn't look too bad. Throttle looks like it's alright. So, alright. Make sure everything's connected right. I better have my hand on the brake, just in case. Well, I can tell you right now that the cable is too tight on the motor. So let me fix that quick. And I'm going to come on here with it and see what's going on. Brakes are working okay. Alright guys, I'm going to go take it for a little spin and see how well this works out. That don't sound very good. Even after I just cleaned the carburetor. That shouldn't be happening. Well, okay, it's much later on in the day. My little adventure this morning, I took it out driving around. I realized that, well, after I was way down a few blocks away, it just turned off. And I realized that I forgot to put enough fuel in the dang thing, so I ran out of gas. So I had to walk all the way back home, get my little gas tank right there, then walk all the way back, fill up the tank, and yeah, I got back home here. Well, this morning when I took it out, and when you guys heard the engine revving up and down before I took it out, I don't know what was going on. Obviously it's the carburetor, and I'm thinking it's probably the air port. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it is. But anyways, that's what I thought it was. Well, I went out driving this thing around. I let it sit for a few hours. Then I took it back out, and it was still doing the revving. But I took it out for almost like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Just driving around here to see if the carburetor would clear up. See if it would knock that dirt or whatever loose. Well, it did. And it doesn't rev up and down anymore, but it gets really, really hot. And when I changed the oil in this, I put in what we had available, 10W30, because it's pretty universal oil. 10W30 is, but it's not thick enough, especially in the summertime. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably go down and get some 5W30 and replace this oil that's in it, this 10W30 for 5W30, or maybe 5W20. Yeah, but the fuel line here, I had a little bit of trouble with the fuel line. It was dripping a lot on the other plate. I also had a problem with oil dripping out of the bottom of the plate, and I didn't mess with that side plate or nothing, but I did tighten up those bolts and come to find out that they were a little loose, so I was dripping a little bit of oil out after this thing started getting real hot. Now the only reason that I have the fan on it is just primarily for the fuel line. See, this fuel line is normally pretty stiff stuff, but because it's been so dang hot, it's like jello right now. I mean, it really literally is like jello, and the engine is just roaring with heat. The chain worked out really well after I boiled it twice. And it was kind of funny because I took this thing out and I was driving it around earlier on today, because I've been taking it out periodically. And while I was driving, I kind of noticed that my rear tire was a little wobbly. And I come to realize that I did not tighten up those nuts. So this entire bearing was shifting back and forth while I'm going down the road. Another thing I'm going to have to do is tighten up my caliper, because that's come a little loose, and I got to get that thing tightened up. Yeah, you see the distance right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Yeah, you can see my tolerance right there. Yeah, there's a few threads. Yeah. Started noticing that when I was going down the street too. Started hearing this rattling sound. I'm like, what the hell is that sound? You know, and I'd pull the brake and it would disappear, and I'd be looking around. What's making that sound? Oh, well, duh, it's the brake caliper. But yeah, I was gonna repaint it and all that kind of fancy stuff, but I decided not to for a few reasons. One, I didn't really want to totally tear this whole thing apart. And two, they didn't have any green paint that matched this stuff. And I didn't want to use the glossy green. Plus, in the amount of time that it took me to do all this stuff, because I have to do other stuff too, but you know, man, if I would have tore this whole thing apart completely and repainted it all up, man, we're looking at another month, 2 months before I got this thing done. And I tore this thing apart like 4 months ago. Man, I'm getting slow. When I was out driving it around, I had some guy pull up next to me go, dude, that's one cool ass thing. But there are a few things I need to watch out for, and that's primarily these lug nuts. I did get the lug nuts really nice and tight, but the problem is that you can get those lug nuts really tight and they'll still come loose. And when I put all those back together, I didn't put any Loctite on them. So I'm really gonna have to pay attention to make sure that, you know, I don't lose those nuts when I'm driving around. Can't lose my nuts! I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to scoot the engine back just a hair, because the RPMs run a little high on this thing now, and I'm going to, you know, the RPMs get the clutch to engage, the torque converter, and yeah, she wants to walk away from me, so I'll probably move the engine back that way, creating a little bit more distance in the belt and not the axle, but the shaft. But anyways, guys, my battery's starting to blink, so I gotta end this video. So thumbs up the video, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.